Okay, here we are. Once again, welcome Giancarlo Marinelli. Welcome to this interview. Thank you for meeting with me. This is a part of a series of interviews for the Mexican College of Philosophical Counselors, where we are approaching different views and different experiences of philosophical counseling around the world. Since this is an interview for a colleague that is Italian, this will be mainly in English. But for Spanish speakers, you will have the translation below, the captions. Now, before we start with our questions, Giancarlo, I would like to read a very brief review of yours so our public knows who you are. Okay, so Giancarlo Marinelli, he's a philosophical counselor, family consultant, director of an Italian association for philosophical counseling, the SUCF, former co-president of the scientific committee of the SICOF, founding member of the SUCF, teacher, trainer in this same association, the SUCF, leads Socratic polyphony and inner philosophical journey groups and Cafe Philos in Rome and Umbria and abroad. Member of the scientific committee of the National Professional Association, Pragma, teacher at the School of Higher Education in Philosophical Counseling of Pragma in Milan, full professor of philosophy at the Liceo Classico Tacito, coordinator and trainer of Socratic polyphony groups in high schools. He practiced as a speaker in various international conferences on philosophical practice, was a member of the scientific committee of the 7 and the 14 and 15 and 16 international conferences of philosophical practice, proposed the international recognition of trajectory of philosophical practice. So this is a very brief review of Giancarlo Marinelli, whose experience is very wide. He has a lot of experience in the field and is one of the prominent figures of philosophical counseling in Italy and Europe. And I would dare to say even in the world. So once more, Giancarlo, you are very welcome to this interview. And once more, thank you for accepting to meet with me.
Thank you.
So we will go through some questions for our guest. And the first one, Giancarlo, that might be interesting for our public is if you can explain what you focus on when you do philosophical counseling.
Thank you for the question. It's very important. In my philosophical practice sessions, I concentrate on the sense of greatness, of the deep dignity of our counselee. This sense of greatness highlights the importance of the preciousness that each situation, even the most and of the bad situation, offered me. Even because this dreary situation, this bad, no good situation, also repetitive, are still interspersed with beautiful gems that reveal a seed of perfection, something of splendor, richness, fullness of life. This is important for me to focus on this, to believe in this presence. And this is the first thing for to do a good philosophical counseling. And the philosophy is the much important point, because I imagine the deep philosophical concepts present in the experience of the counselee, of the client. So this is the first thing.
Okay, great. Good. Precisely, I would like to talk a little bit about that. The philosophical ingredient, the philosophical issue in your practice. So what would you say that is philosophical in the counseling work you do?
Yes. In concerning this question, I have to do one question before one
Of course.
presentation, because now I see in the world is what is philosophical in philosophical counsel, in philosophical practice. Okay, but it's much more important to know what is specific of philosophical practice. What is the specific the specific element? Because we have a great important thing with philosophical practice, and this is something different of philosophy in the academies, of universities, of the also in the much more common sense of philosophy. Philosophical practice is something of new. The International Conference of Philosophical Practice show this difference. Are based in this difference. What is this difference? This difference is to do philosophy only starting from experience, only starting from situation of everyday life. This is the revolution. This is the revolution. We have to explain, to diffuse, to bring this in as a fundamental thing. Is much more important this than what is philosophical. Okay, sure, but it's important to understand that the philosophical practice is something of new, is something of revolutionary, because is something is the philosophy starting from experience, starting from feelings, intuition, emotion, feeling, sensation, and also bad situation, bad emotion. But from this we have to do philosophy. This is something of new, and I fear that we, me, you, and other, don't. Okay, I and you maybe no, but the people in the world, I
Yes.
don't. I fear that this is something of not very focused. I think now is the time to focus only performance on this point. Philosophy from experience. This is the best thing of philosophical practice. We
Great.
don't forget this.
Great. I like your answer, Giancarlo, because somehow you changed the question. No, you say the question is no longer what is philosophical in philosophical counseling, but what is specific from philosophical practice. What is distinctive? What makes it different from academic philosophy, for example?
Yes.
Great.
This is the point, and I want also to answer with
Good.
the question, because I think this is also what is not paradoxical, but this is also what is true philosophical in philosophical practice, because philosophy, when is starting from experience, is the big philosophy, is the bigger philosophy, the bigger philosophy, Nietzsche or Husserl or Kierkegaard or also Plato is a philosophy from experience, inner experience, social experiences. This is the point. So I answer also your question, because this is for me also the much more important philosophical point. What is
Okay. Great.
to do philosophy to do philosophy from experience. This is also the bigger philosophy.
Great, great. I like it very much because this gives us a different notion, a different conception of philosophy. You are saying philosophy begins from experience, begins with experience, and it goes from experience. And this is the great philosophy. Okay. And this leads me to the next question, because one could say, well, if we begin with experience, we could talk about it anywhere with anyone. So the question would be, what is not philosophical counseling? Why, if I talk with a friend, with a partner, I'm not doing necessarily philosophical counseling? What is not philosophical counseling?
Yes, also this question is very important, and I am very happy for this question, because it's only this question. This question is very important for me. And also the other answer is from my view, but in this point maybe also much more my vision, but I think sharing to the other. It's not therapy. I think it's not therapy. It's not therapy because therapy is based on distinction, healthy and unhealthy, The philosophical counselor, don't worry, maybe it's not important to healthy or unhealthy. We have to work, we have to do philosophical work, we have to do clarification, we have to do much more connection, feeling, and thoughts. I don't know if it's healthy or unhealthy. It's not central thing. So, instead, this is a question for medical approach, unhealthy and healthy.
Yes.
The philosophical practice is no medical approach. It's no medical approach. I think is the minimum, but also is based on equality. Every based on the equality is no different. I am not a teacher and you the student. Jung is a psychanalyst, but Jung wrote the good relationship, the good consultation is a meeting between two wise individuals. Is the same thing in philosophical counseling. This is the meeting of two wise individuals. We do philosophy together. We do philosophy together from experience. We do philosophy together from experience, and we can show something new also in the traditional issues. Maybe we can understand much, and we can understand better the conception of the space and time in Kant from the experience. But this is important. The first question, from your experience, you can feel bad. You can feel oppression. We can to clarify what is your conception of time. What is your conception of space and the time, and important, particularly time in your oppression? And see, in this way, okay, we clarify conception, philosophical conception. We know ourselves. we know ourselves, and is sure we arrive to something of wellness, because the wellness is something different of healthy or unhealthy. Wellness is harmonization. Wellness is something of much more important than healthy or unhealthy. I flourish. I have to flourish. I have to be in wellness, because wellness is my flourish, my expression, my deliberation is. So this is an object. This is important for philosophical counseling. But no healthy or unhealthy, and I have the teacher, and you have to so you have the meeting of two wise men, and in Deutsch is sin philosophieren, no? To do philosophy together, to do philosophy together from experience. In this case, is no therapy, is no directly therapy. Is therapy is much less. It's something of less important therapy. This is much more important to deliberate our soul. To Marinov said to do expression, to give expression at the inner philosopher. The inner philosopher. Everyone has inner philosopher, and from experience with dialogues, with consultations, the philosophical counselor, similar to Socrates, is helping the people to express your inner philosopher, your their deep inner philosopher. So you
good. Great. This also seems very important, and I think that there's a clear differentiation with common therapies, right? So it is very clear. It is not a therapy. It's not a psychotherapy. It is something different, and its main goal is to make flourish the inner philosopher using this expression. Great. Why should we do philosophical practice nowadays in our contemporary times? Why should we do philosophical practice and especially cultivate the profession of philosophical counseling?
I think this is the similar answer, because from what has been said, it is clear that it is a unique opportunity, more than rare, to discover and develop the resource and destinies of our soul. Marinov with inner philosopher, which liberates us from what has been and continues to be too human. So in the practice of my philosophical practice, it's important to do out of the human to human, no? As said Nietzsche, said, is something to is a bigger perspective. I think it's important to confront with this possibility to develop the vision of Übermensch. No, the Übermensch. I fear this not ridiculous because I know I don't have power, mystical power, but I think we work for the transformation of the human being. We work on transformation, starting by experience, starting acceptation of every situation. But we have to know we transform the people. We, you, me, and you. We transform, and we transform the people, starting from experience with talks. We transform the people, and my practice is transforming. Is for transformers, for to go also overwhelm the human, the traditional, the level, low level is something also pedagogic. Yes. But it's important from experience, from acceptation, from dialogues and throughout dialogues. We transform the people. We helping the humanity to go to the superhumanity, but in the level. I hope is no. I am not full in this proposal, but it's important to go to something much more high, much more broader, much more broader. So is my idea high idea of profession of philosophical counseling.
Great. So for you, it is a transformative exercise, a transformative practice. And the goal, the aim is to transform individuals.
Yes.
Great. Okay, great. Giancarlo, we are arriving almost at the end of our meeting. And I have one more question for you. What message would you send to the general public and to those who are interested in practicing philosophical consultation?
I have some two or three points, because the first is a wonderful way to connect feelings and thoughts. So this best way to connect feelings and thoughts, and this connection is very revolutionary. It's very to produce awareness, produce creativity. So I want to give to the people. You have to try the philosophical counseling, because it's the best way to connect feelings and thoughts. But also is the best way to open your heart and your experience and your perspective to other people, to humanity, but in a concrete way, starting from my experience and the experience of the counselee and the other and the groups. In this way, my individual view is in connection and sharing with other views, and produce a big vision, but with my heart, with my participation. Also, I think also in this point, the philosophical practice is very the best, because we arrived to the universal conception, but every with my experience, every my situation, every with my individual consistence. This is I want to do this because it's not it's very necessary point in philosophical practice to connect the singularity, the individual, with the people, with the other, with the universal institution. Okay, is something to philosophy. Ever the philosophy. This is the work of philosophy, but similar to what I said to the beginning. But in only philosophical practice is very do this, make this, because it's connecting individual and universality of conception. Only philosophical practice. No philosophy, academic, no traditional philosophy, because it's no concrete humanity. But what is humanity? We have to start from our humanity, our good emotion, but also from our bad emotion, from concrete emotion, from concrete. My humanity is the way from the general humanity. My humanities and your humanities, the way for universal humanity.
Okay, good. I like very much what you're saying, and I think that this gives us an overview of how you conceive a philosophy, how can you conceive a philosophical practice and philosophical counseling. And I am sure that for our public, this will be like a bunch of ideas, interesting ideas that if they are practicing already might make them grow their own practice. And if they are general public, this might be useful for our general public to approach the exercise and the practice of philosophical counseling. So, Giancarlo, we have to end our interview here in this point. I thank you very much once again for taking the time for meeting with me and for sharing with me and for the public all your ideas that come from precisely from your experience in your practice. So, once more, Giancarlo, thank you very much. And if you want to say something else, you are very welcome.
Thank you to you and your organization.
Okay. See you, Giancarlo.
See you.